Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Denard here. Before we get started with today's episode of the Youngbouls Podcast, I wanted to let you guys know about this clothing company y'all need to go check out. It's called Solitary Faith Apparel. It's by my man Manny. He does a lot of clothing pieces, and he's got a website now. So if you guys like pieces like I do, and you like clothing just like me, I need to go check out Solitary Faith Apparel right now. His website is online. There's a lot of diamond tees, shorts, so a lot of stuff on there that you guys can go check out and buy. Tell him that the Youngbouls Podcast sent you. Go support, Manny. Support his business. Support his clothing apparel. And hope you guys enjoy the episode. And then again, website is Solitary Faith Apparel. And make sure y'all guys go follow the IG at Solitary Faith Clothing. I'll put it at the description and the bottom of this episode right here. But make sure you guys go check it out, Solitary Faith Clothing, and go cop yourself a piece or two. I know I will. Enjoy the episode. Peace.
Bro, Chris Paul has better handles than AI.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here, man. Another week of wrap-ups. Man, we're here with my boy, Eagles correspondent, Jamaal.
Yes,
we're back in the building. Before we go any further, it's presented by Solitary Faith Clothing. You guys like clothing, go check out my man Manny's site. He's doing good things over there. He's about to drop some more pieces. If you haven't checked the reel out, go follow him at Solitary Faith Apparel, on IG and everything like that. Go check out the clothing. But as he said, another week, man. Both of our teams took L's this week.
Mm-hmm.
My loss was more heartbreaking. His was more of just an old-fashioned beatdown. You know what? I'm just not gonna say anything else. Jamaal, you go ahead and just air out what you want to air out about your team, man. The Birds, man. Y'all don't know they lost 16-33 against Tampa Bay, but I'll let Jamaal finish. Jamaal, you go ahead and say what you gotta say.
This game was over in the first quarter. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I think there was a stat where we had 3 passing yards and they had 200. This game. I was hyped for this game. I was talking trash on Instagram. I don't know if you know, Denari, one of your friends is a Buccaneers fan.
Yes.
He was in your comments, and I was we cooking Buccaneers next week. And now, hopefully he didn't see that comment. But so when this game was over, I saw Fire Nick Sirianni trending on Twitter. And sure, that's cool, but Nick Sirianni is 1/10 of the reason why we lost this game. I mean, Saquon can only take us so far. One player is not going to win you a football game.
Yeah. Also, I will say, before you go any further, I will say you guys were missing some players. If you guys had Smitty, this could be a closer game. Do I still think you guys win? Absolutely not. But, I'll say it'll be a closer contest for sure. But I feel like it definitely... it goes back to what I was saying last week, man. Just about the Eagles in general. I feel like y'all window closed up a little bit. But I'll touch on that later. Jamaal, you finish what you got to say.
So, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of people, one of my friends from Philly, and, during the whole game, they were just saying, it's over. And the thing you said that we're beat up, our defense is not even that beat up, bro. It's our offense that's banged up. We didn't have our right tackle or left tackle. We didn't have one of our tackles. Lane Johnson. We didn't have either receiver. But besides that, Hurst didn't have a target to a receiver until the second or third quarter of the game, bro. Our defense played so well against. Now I'm debating: did our defense play good, or did the Saints just did they just cool off? Because our defense played amazing against the Saints, who were the best offense coming into the week, and now...
We don't got to keep talking about that. It's still a sore spot.
Listen, the Eagles game was over in the first quarter, so I was watching that Saints game heavy, because if the Eagles lose and the Saints win, then it's a problem with me. But if we both lose, then it's cool. We both going to be here on Monday and we're going to talk. So I'm happy. I'm hating. You know what I'm saying? I'm hating.
Like I said, heading into this game, I feel like this game was going to be it's going to be a real interesting game. The one thing that I saw, I didn't watch the full game, but I looked at highlights and stuff, just read the stats. A lot of people on Twitter were talking about Jalen Hurts and his performance. They were saying that he was a turnover machine in this game. Now, I didn't watch the game, like I said, so I don't know how many turnovers he had.
I
But
think he threw 2 fumbles.
goodness gracious. But yeah, so it's come with that too. And then also too, I said this last week, but when you got players like CJ Gardner Johnson going on here talking about before the game, pregame,
It's
oh
personal, huh?
I'm putting BTA to everybody. I'm putting BTA to
He
everybody.
did say that,
You
bro.
getting cooked by
He gave
Mike
up a
Evans?
touchdown. He gave up a
I'm telling
touchdown.
Look, I'm telling you, CJ Gardner Johnson is the NFL version of Pat Bev. And you cannot tell me otherwise. You cannot tell me otherwise, man. CJ
That's
Gardner
a good
Johnson,
comparison. That's a good
he's
comparison.
so he is somebody who loves to talk a big game. And when he shows up, he shows up. But when he doesn't, it's just even worse. And it's like one of those things where it's like, come on, man. Like, we expect this at this point. Like, honestly, it's like CJ Gardner Johnson.
He's the new Eli Apple.
Yeah.
He's the new
And
Eli Apple.
yeah, it's not a good sight. Also, too, like I remember like before the season, he was saying like, oh, it's gonna be revenge season. We're gonna do all this year, and it's like, we're 4 or 5 games into the season. It's like I don't know if I'm feeling this. So it's that. Another thing that I would say is the play calling. You guys last season y'all had Brian Johnson as y'all OC. Brian Johnson leaves. I'm pretty sure he's in Washington right now, which we'll touch on Washington in a few because what Washington is doing right now is very, very good, right? Shout out to the Commanders. But you guys got rid of him. Y'all got Kellen Moore now, who was the OC last year at Dallas, who he was solid. Like, he was doing his thing. But,
He was good.
yeah, he was doing his thing. But now it's suddenly like he doesn't know how to, play call. And it's in some cases, it may not be him. It may be just the execution of the offense and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that go into like the Eagles start this year. Do I think that people should be worried about them being 2-2? Kind of. Do I think it's going to affect them in the long run? We don't know. You have to remember, up until this point, we're like this is like 2 years. The Eagles had not lost like 2 games before week 6 since I would say my senior year of high school.
Jeez. Yeah, the Eagles were always
the undefeated. I will say that probably the undefeated thing. It probably takes a toll. Going back-to-back seasons, starting off 8-0. That's a lot. That's a tall task to ask for. And I feel like Eagles fans. I feel like just players in general. They probably got comfortable with it. People start to
think
figure.
what it is a lack of progression. Like, so in 2022, when we first got AJ Brown, we were the best team we were spanking.
Most definitely by a wide margin.
Like our margin of victory was unbelievable the entire season, like the playoffs as well. And I think teams adjusted. What happens is like over the offseason, the teams are researching the best teams. The Eagles are one of the best teams. They're looking at how to beat Hurts. They did the same thing with Mahomes. They did the same thing with like that sophomore slump is real because
You
people
also too.
do.
Also too, Jamaal. You gotta look at it like this. Remember when Tony Romo got hurt and Dak Prescott came in? And people thought, oh, Dallas going to be bad that year. And Prescott carried him to a 1 seed because nobody had film on dude because he was like a second. And the following year, everybody's like, oh, Dallas going to run it back. And yeah, they made it to the playoffs, but everybody had Dak pretty much figured out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Hurts.
That's exactly what happens. Literally.
Like, next year, we went 8-0, but our margin of victory was like nowhere near as good. Like
I remember there was one game in particular last year. I think it was the first game of the season where we were just watching. I was watching it, and you guys were playing Minnesota, and I was like, "You guys should be blowing these boys out. And it's a little bit too close for my liking." Y'all are having trouble with teams like Arizona. Y'all are having trouble with teams last year that y'all shouldn't have had trouble with, and it's like, I get it, Y'all, at the end of the day, the goal is to win. But if you're not winning in a convincing fashion, against teams that you should be winning against, that's a problem. You get what I mean?
And like, we lost a lot. We lost a lot of players from
that's what I'm saying too. Like the difference too on the defensive front. Like when y'all lost when y'all lost Hargrave, I knew when that trade happened, when he went to 49ers, I was like, oh, y'all gonna regret that for sure. Y'all gonna regret that trade for sure. And sure enough, y'all did. I mean, so it's just like a lot of things when you look at the Eagles and just like what they've been doing and stuff like that, and it's like I feel like they got too comfortable. I feel like they got too comfortable. I feel like that, they're banged up, yes, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I want to sit up here and give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, they'll be fine. They'll be straight. It's no problem.
It's amazing what one player can do. I truly believe if we had Lane Johnson, the game would have been a lot closer because Hurts got sacked 6 times, and he got pressured 6 times. I think that the Buccaneers had 6 QB hits, and I don't even think they had Vita Vea. I don't even think the Bucs had Vita Vea yesterday. So without Vita Vea, they're getting the Hurts around 12 times, pressuring him all those times. It's because Lane Johnson was out. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. We need him, and
Yeah.
Saquon still had an amazing game. I really do believe Saquon. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Derrick Henry had a crazy game last night. But
Henry was cooking last night.
I think Saquon's like one of the best offensive players in football right now.
Most definitely. Yeah, I feel like he's one of the best running backs in the NFC.
He's my offensive player of the year so far. I mean, he's just a game changer. But
I feel it. I feel it.
I saw one of my friends. So don't quote me, but I saw one of my friends said that Hurts doesn't scramble left, and teams are they're learning that. And I just feel like that's just what comes to with the Eagles. Like when we had our spectacular season, where we started off just amazing, once they adjusted, we didn't get better. I think Sirianni settled a little bit. Because we never got better from that. Like
I feel like y'all stuck to the whole idea of if it isn't broke, don't fix it, and then it's like it's starting like breaking everything, and it's like it's too late because people have you guys figured out and everything like that. You look at Hurts, man. Hurts, that year that in his his true first year starting as an Eagles quarterback, solid work, doing his thing. Then the following year, they figured it out a little bit. He was still able to put up good numbers, but then, it's just this year, it's like the league is figuring him out. The league knows that he likes to, throw the ball, but if he needs to run, he will. They're gonna catch on to that.
He doesn't slide either, bro. He does not slide.
And also, too, I just feel like, just with Hurts, too, I just feel like he's playing more passive. Like, I'm looking at old clips of Hurts and stuff and what he was doing.
He was slinging that rock, bro. He was throwing it downfield. He had a nice deep ball.
He was deep ball. He was slinging it, doing all this stuff, and I'm looking at him now, and it's like, you just got that extension. What's going on, man? And it's like again, they're 2-2 and heading into a bye week. I'm pretty sure. I think so. Let me see.
We need that bye week. We do, because we're not gonna have Smitty for another couple weeks probably.
You guys' next game is not until God's next game is not till the 13th. So yeah, bye week. Yeah.
Early bye. We're gonna have to end the season off strong.
So yeah, so you guys are heading into a bye week. So I will say, luckily for you guys, the rest of your schedule doesn't look like it's gonna be that difficult.
No, we got a good schedule this year.
No, I mean, y'all got Cleveland, then y'all got New York, then y'all got Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Dallas, Washington, the Rams, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, and the Giants to wrap it up. I feel like y'all be fine.
I want to say we end the season like with 10+ wins, but
y'all are losing 5 games.
So you think we're going 12-5?
I feel like y'all either going 12-5 or 11-6. I could definitely see you guys dropping a couple more games on this.
Yeah, me too, bro. I feel like we're gonna lose games that we shouldn't be losing.
Yeah,
like, getting blown out by Tampa Bay, I can understand. A lot of people wanted to say, "Oh, our defenders were hot out there," but like, bro, we're not even getting the Baker.
Did you see the clip of Darius Slay where he was?
Darius Slay.
Darius Slay. This dude had a wide open touchdown in the zone. He dropped it and he was celebrating. And then after the game yesterday, he posted about like his stats and everything like that.
Yeah, and he basically like that's a retirement tweet. That's how I give up tweet, bro. Like, you don't want a star player tweeting that. This dude was like, "Oh, I've had a great career so far. It's week 4. What are you talking about? We got 13 more weeks. Oh no, I think 14 more weeks, bro."
Nah, I remember after the Falcons game, he was like, I think he said, "Not gonna lie," he said something fun. It was something funny, but he said something about like whether it was like, "Oh, that was a good route. He got me."
Yeah, and Slay always does that though.
I was like, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm on my Twitter and I'm on the timeline. I see somebody saying that my star cornerback who got cooked on the last play saying that to me. I'll be sick.
But Slay's always been like that, and it's fine because we're winning usually. But then we're losing. We're losing to teams like the NFC South that's cooking us. Like what?
I'm not gonna lie. I said this before and I'll say it again. You guys should have lost last week.
You think so?
Against the Saints, most definitely. Yes.
I feel like the Saints. You guys lost rather than the Eagles won. Definitely. Like, our offense has been so bad. We might have one of the worst offenses in the league right now.
Yeah.
It's
But
hurt.
speaking of New Orleans, man, the 2 weeks of happiness have ended in this blink of an eye. We have gone from being undefeated to being at 500.
Very defeated.
Yeah, very. We lost to the Falcons yesterday. Falcons now lead the Saints all time and wins, 56-55. Young Ho Koo, game-winning field goal, man.
Like, what do you guys think is worse? Would you rather your team get blown out like that or come from behind, win, field goal for the win?
You know what's
How
crazy
was that
too?
field goal?
You know what's crazy? The defense didn't give up a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, no, Rashid Shaheed lost that game, bro.
No, No, I did not. But I saw the Paulson Debo PI penalty though. I saw that.
Nah, bro. Your wide receiver literally muffed the punt and the Falcons jumped on it and scored the first touchdown of the game. That game was over ever since. The Falcons, that's what happened. It was a special team play. Rashid Shaheed was trying to catch the punt and he dropped it in the end zone and the Falcons jumped right on it and the game was over. It's 7-0 and I knew that game was over. I was like, nah, the Saints are blowing themselves out the water, bro.
Dude, no, look, cause I was watching, cause I missed that. But I saw it was like the end, like the ending of it. It was like 58 seconds left. So I'm like, word. We're up.
Oh,
Cool.
I know what you're talking about.
So Kirk Cousins drops back, throws the ball, whatever, throws it deep. I think it was Pitts or either London. It was somebody. But they're running. And I see a Debo behind him. So immediately I'm like a Debo's running behind somebody. That's not going to end well. So he's running. He has his hand out looking like he's about to catch it. I'm like, all the Debo has to do right here, just put his hand out, just knock the ball down. That's all he has to do. What does Paulson Adebo do, Jamaal? Ask me what he does.
What did he do? I didn't see this.
Paulson Adebo grabs this dude by the neck in the helmet and takes him down to the ground. Then proceeds to go run towards the fans or whatever and do the whole strap thing and everything like that. A flag is thrown 10 yards right next to him, so he sees it. He turns around, sees the flag, and does this like he did nothing wrong.
That's so you think he?
I was a Saints fan, and immediately once he did that, I said, "Why would you do that?" So immediately,
the funniest people in the world, bro.
No, I don't know what it is, man. But every time I see a defensive back or a cornerback doing that, man, it always has me crying because literally, it could be a receiver dropping a pass, and they'll be doing the whole.
Bro, they'll get beat so bad, and then they'll go. And then the funny part is the receiver will be catching it and maybe be out of bounds, and the receiver no.
And then somebody will be they'll be getting hype and everything. They're like, nah, I do this. You're locked up. You're strapped. I'm like, nah, bro.
But I generally think quarterback is the hardest position. Obviously,
for sure. You have to be the master of the game at that point. You control the game. You gotta know all the plays and stuff.
Sports alone, not even just football. In sports, cornerback is top 2 hardest. It's insane to guard.
I feel like it's catcher in baseball. Quarterback.
Catcher, really? I'm not catcher on baseball. So.
Nah, because you gotta think catcher. You're controlling where the pitches go in the game and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Which those pitches could either be ones that are getting hit and stuff like that. So literally, the game is up to you. Because if you call for a pitch and the pitch is not the right one, that could cost you the game.
Mm.
People don't think about that. That.
I don't. Definitely don't.
Yeah. But
I'm looking at the Eagles' schedule from last year. I remember some of these games. So we beat New England 25-20. New England, and I remember that game.
That was the game I was talking about. That was the game where I was like, I don't think y'all run it back this year for real.
Yeah, Hurts threw a pick 6 in that game, and we came back. I remember that one. We beat Minnesota 34-28. Washington, but this is when Washington was bad. 34-31 overtime. We're having close game, and Washington again, 38-31. We lost to New York, so we didn't go 8-0. We went 5-1. But then we won 5 more games in a row. We went 10-1. But we beat the Bills and the Chiefs, and then once we lost to the 49ers, we lost to the Seahawks. I remember that game. You remember that game, Dinari?
Which one?
When the Seahawks came from behind and they beat us, a last minute.
Yeah.
Allison.
Yeah, Bradbury. The Bradbury game. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then we lost to New York before we hit the playoffs, which I don't even think we had Marcus Mariota playing, but we lost to the Cardinals too, and I think the Cardinals might have had 2 wins at that point. So yeah, that's when Sirianni like kind of had to go. So
I still
like since the mid-season of last year, Hurts has the most turnovers out of any player.
the Eagles in their last 10 games. I checked the stat. I'm pretty sure they're like dating back to last year. They're like 3-7 or like.
Yeah, so we're 2-2 right now, so that's 4, and then let's go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3. So yeah, we have 7 losses in our last 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
But then back to the Saints though. I feel like with the game yesterday, Derek Carr had 2 great games of, joy and happiness, and that's cool. But if your defense is putting up a game like that, there's no possible conceivable way that as an offensive team, we're sitting up here and we're struggling to do things like that.
I don't know what happened to you guys.
We were scoring, but knowing how this game ended, I definitely strongly believe that we were scoring, but it got to a point where we didn't knock them out when we needed to. Like, we left the door open and they were able to just claw back into the game.
The Saints have a no-fly zone too. Like, your cornerbacks are amazing. No? Don't look at that face.
Hey, look.
Got lockdown corners, bro.
Oh, yeah. For the most part, yeah. But when listen, when they're not on though, Jamaal, when they're not on, oh my gosh.
So how did the Falcons score 24 points without? That was all field goals?
Outside that touchdown, I'm pretty sure that was all field goals, yeah.
Oh my, that's insane, bro. Kirk Cousins did the same thing he did to us to you, but except they didn't score. Like, they didn't score a touchdown, but and this is a very sad episode this week, guys. I mean, both of our teams.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. Kirk Cousins threw for 238 yards, and he threw a pick. No tutties.
Now look at Baker's stats. Unless you know already, Baker had almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And his completion was
63% completion percentage, 347 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. No, gosh, he was clopping y'all boys up.
Oh, so he only had 2 touchdowns. Interesting.
You said what?
So he only had 2 touchdowns. But yeah, I mean, I don't even think he threw a pick. But like,
easy bake oven, easy bake.
Bro, Baker, he baked us. And I don't know what it is with the Eagles, but we lose to the Buccaneers every year. Like, and we play the NFC.
Yeah, Hurts. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A game where Hurts is throwing under 200 yards passing, y'all not winning.
The time of possession was insane too.
Hurts threw for 158 yards.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's just honestly, I liked what I saw in the second half though, because I believe we went down and scored before the first half was over. So going into halftime, then we came back and we scored again, and it was like 24-14 or something like that.
Yeah,
and we were putting the pressure on those boys. So I like the fight that we gave out. That's what makes me think the season's not over for the Eagles. Like,
oh yeah.
Saying the season will be over, but we put in some fight with our limited roster. And
dude, it's way too early. I've seen people talk about, oh, is it early to panic on the birds? It's like, nah, like we're only in week 4, I believe. Yeah, we're about to be in week 5. We're only like a fourth of the way into the season. There's still, a lot more play left. I mean, they're still very much well in contention of winning the NFC East. Because, I mean, unless the Commanders just don't lose for the rest of the season.
The Commanders aren't frauds. I'll tell you that.
Shout out Washington, because
the Commanders
are doing their thing. Right now, they're doing their thing. Jaden Daniels
has been donkey, but for any person in fantasy or any person that's like a fan of good football, the only team that's really good is the Ravens, bro. That's the only team that's like amazing. I'm not even gonna lie, bro.
And the Commanders
supposed to be good. Wait, what'd you say?
And the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, the Commanders, but like the best team in football, I gotta give it to like maybe Baltimore. Every other team is low key.
You're not gonna say Detroit?
No, I'm not giving it to Detroit.
Detroit's 3-1 though. They got a better record.
Yeah, they got a better record. They're cooking, but like, bro, I don't know. Like the Ravens should be undefeated right now.
No one's talking about Minnesota enough.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota has been.
They almost imploded on themselves, but no, they're cooking right now. They're the only undefeated team now because the
Minnesota's the only undefeated team.
And the Steelers lost too. The Steelers are still a good team though. I don't know if you saw this game, but the Steelers they didn't give up. They lost, but they almost won. They almost came
Oh
back.
yeah, the Colts game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw. But
Anthony
yeah,
Richardson.
I definitely believe, like, when looking at like teams this season, if you would have told me in the beginning of the year the Commanders would be top of the NFC East, Eagles would already have 2 losses heading into Week 5.
Yeah, but look, the 49ers got 2 losses too, I believe.
Like I said though, Jamal, like I said,
Oh no, the
it's
Chiefs are undefeated too.
like I said though, it's way too early. I
Yeah,
mean, there's the Falcons. If you remember, the Falcons went 6-0 back in like 2014 or something, and they ended up missing the playoffs. So
bro. The
it's
Steelers were
very
11-0.
yeah,
Remember when the Steelers were 11-0 and
exactly.
lost in the first round?
Exactly. It's way too much game left. It's way too much season left to
Yeah.
pretty much put a
Week
pin in
5, we'll
anybody's
see.
season.
The
Yeah,
Eagles have a much needed bye. We need this bye week though. We needed
I'm
this bye
pretty
week.
sure we play the Chiefs next week.
No, and I know you're looking at that like, oh, that's a bad game for us.
No. I'm actually not worried about that as much anymore because Rasheed Rice is gone. That means that Juju Smith and Kelsey gonna have to step up. Which
Kelsey's had a horrible start to the season.
that's what I'm saying.
He might take it out on y'all, bro. I'm not. He's
Let's not say that, please.
Listen,
Please,
I hate the Chiefs, bro. Like, and I don't hate the Chiefs because the reason everyone else hates the Chiefs. I don't mind Mahomes having an amazing dynasty legacy, but if he's playing terrible and getting bailed out every week, it gets old. So
yeah,
they lose. They lose week 1. Isaiah Likely's feet are too big. Whatever. They come back. They can't convert. They lose. Week 2, they play the Bengals. They get a DPI, like a DPI call that in week 3 against the Falcons, they didn't call. So they're getting inconsistent calls. Mahomes is not playing good. He's throwing interceptions in every season. I don't even think Mahomes is a quarterback right now. He's throwing picks in every game. Week 4, he throws a pick, injures his own receiver, and voodoo magic happens, and they still get the ball after he throws a pick because the guy just throws it back to them. He fumbles.
yeah.
So struggling. Kelsey's struggling. Mark Andrews is struggling. The Cowboys are struggling. The 49ers are struggling. The Bengals are struggling. The Jaguars haven't won yet, I don't believe.
The Jaguars are winless. They're the only team.
The Panthers got to win.
The Panthers got to. No, I think it's the Titans. Will Levis.
Titans are winning right now, though. So
no, every time I just think of Will Levis, I think of that photo of him when he was doing this.
Man, bro, bless him, bro. He's a rookie, man. I was
Will
gonna say
Levis is not a rookie. Will Levis is not a rookie.
He's not?
No, it's like his 3rd year, bro.
Are you serious?
Second or third year, yeah.
I swear he just got drafted last. Wait, what?
No.
He's in the Zach Wilson draft?
Let me see.
Is this his first year starting? Because I don't remember him. I know Malik Willis was last year, and Malik Willis.
Nah, this is definitely his 3rd year then.
Malik Willis has been good too. I'm looking at the scores right now. Yeah, Carolina lost, so the Bengals got their first win. The Jaguars haven't won yet.
I don't know what it is for Jacksonville. I expect him to be a whole lot better. Yeah, he got selected in 2023.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm a casual.
Yeah, nah. Will Levis has been playing bad. I don't know what it is, but
Titans haven't had a good quarterback like ever, bro.
yeah. But
they got rid of Malik Willis so early. Like Malik is.
They shouldn't have gotten rid of Malik Willis. I remember Malik Willis back in college because I'm pretty sure he went to Liberty, and Liberty's like in Virginia. So like I remember him there, and I was like, the Titans got him. He's gonna low key be nice for development, whatever.
He is nice in Green Bay, but like
yeah,
you can't have two quarterbacks.
I don't know what it is. Whatever quarterback goes to Green Bay, that's like the quarterback factory.
It's the system. I don't know when's the last time Green Bay had a bad quarterback? Jordan Love, he threw 3 picks yesterday and 4 touchdowns. Like, is that not the most Green Bay quarterback thing to do?
You meant Willis? Because Love hurt.
No, Jordan Love's back. He threw 4 touchdowns and he threw 3 picks.
Jordan Love was hooping yesterday?
Yeah, he was hooping yesterday. They lost, but it was like 28-0.
Wow, he was back.
He threw for a lot of yards.
I mean, yeah. Also, too, he had like an MCL sprain and stuff like that. So,
is that what it was? Okay, Malik Willis.
Remember, he had that crazy injury at the end of the game against the Eagles in week 1.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so
Malik Willis is 2-0 though, and Jordan Love's 0-2. That's all I'm saying. People are saying
they can't get rid of Love. They can't get around. They can't do that to Love that early, man. Love got them their first playoff.
Paid him, didn't they just pay him?
Yeah.
Quarterback. But he has more playoff wins than a lot of top 5 quarterbacks in the league. So
I'm saying. I'm saying. But yeah, so, I think I said what I had to say about the Commanders. I definitely said what I had to say about New Orleans, man. It's going to be definitely an interesting game next week, Monday Night Football. Oh my gosh, that game next week.
Watching that.
I'm tuned in. I'm tuned in.
I think Jaden Daniels, so Jaden Daniels, obviously his historic start. I think he has the highest completion percentage out of any
Somebody was saying how Jaden Daniels, the way he's playing for the Commanders this year, not only they're bringing real football back to Washington, but if you remember the year that RG3 got hurt, they're saying this is like a give back for that as well.
Yeah,
which is
he's better than RG3 though. He's way better than RG3 so far. If we're going off
okay.
What he's doing, he's better than any rookie quarterback in history technically, but the way he he is genuinely. He doesn't have the thrown touchdowns, but who's had a better start in their rookie year?
Cam Newton.
Wait, but Cam's rookie year. What year was his rookie year? I'm trying to think. I don't know if I was tuned in back then.
2011, 2012, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't watching back, bro. 2011, I was 8 years old, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna speak on Cam. I don't know about Cam. But if we're going on pure stats, he's dropping 40 on teams. What he did against the Bengals. The Bengals, he makes defenses look terrible than they actually are.
To be fair, let's not act like Cincinnati's defense was what it was a couple of years ago, though.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Just saying. It's not like it was a couple of years ago. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
We got to watch more. He threw his first pick of his career, and it didn't even look like it phased him, which is a great sign. He threw the pick, went back, and then came back. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Washington has punted yet this season. I'm not sure. I don't
also, too, another thing about Washington that when you have people who care about your organization and you're what's the word? Help me out. About your belief in winning and stuff like that, that makes things on the field so much easier. When you have a culture that really buys into the fact no, let's do this. Let's actually go out here and let's win games. Let's you could see a shift. Even when they got Dan Quinn, I was nah, they're going to be nice because Dan Quinn, if you remember him in Dallas, he was nice. Dan Quinn in Atlanta,
yeah,
he was nice. They got to the bowl with Dan Quinn.
I was saying they got to the bowl with Dan Quinn. Yeah.
Dan Quinn,
he's an offensive-minded guy.
But he also is good on defense as well. But it's you also remember, you're thinking, I'm thinking too, I'm yeah, we're just, you got the culture, you got owners who care, Josh Harris and stuff like that, the Sixers owners, they had stake in the Commanders and stuff like that.
They got rid of that one dude too. I don't remember his name. They got rid of Ron Rivera and they got rid of
Bieniemy.
They got rid of the GM or the owner.
Oh yeah, Dan Snyder. That dude's a weirdo. But yeah, got rid of him too. They
clean house. Got your quarterback.
They cleaned house. They gave the quarterback some weapons. Got a solid, experienced running back in Austin Eckler and stuff like that. They're doing
Robinson
things
too, man. They got Scary Terry. They have an amazing team. And they've always had a good defense.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the last time I ever saw the Commanders put up 40 against somebody. And I'm not even saying that to say it like a dig, but the Commanders, what they did to Arizona on Sunday, which mind you, Arizona is 2-1, I believe. Were they not 2-1? Let me check.
Not sure, but Arizona, they just had a good last week too.
Oh no, scratch that. They were 1-2. Okay, but at the same time though, they're beating teams who they're supposed to be beating. They're not leaving food on the table. They're blowing these teams out.
Blowing them out.
And even with the Bengals game, as much as I just said, yeah, they're not the same defense they were a couple years ago. Doing that to a team that's been to a bowl, to a team that was
he's
healthy,
outperforming Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray.
That's impressive.
He's the best. He's probably top 5 right now, I think.
That's impressive. And so you got to give credit where credit's due with the Commanders because no one expected them to be where they are this season, and no one expected Jaden Daniels to come in and make an impact like that. I thought Jaden Daniels going to Washington was going to be a solid fit for sure, like a glove, but Some
Bro,
would
did you see
say
the clip of the New York GM's son saying draft Jaden Daniels?
yes,
That's the funniest.
yes, yes.
That's so funny.
And as a
Yeah,
Saints fan,
he looked-
seeing what Jaden Daniels is doing in Washington, one could wish that the Saints were a little bit, tiny bit more trash last year. Because if we would have had the chance to draft Jaden Daniels, oh my god,
where did he go in the draft? Where did he go? Like
one?
top 10?
No, he didn't go one. He went like
I'm
two or three.
really? So who went one?
Caleb Williams.
And hey, Chicago's doing good. I mean, Caleb has potential. I really like what I'm seeing from him.
But
Like,
I still feel like I'm happy that Jaden Daniels is hooping like this though, because if you remember in the draft process, all eyes were on Caleb Williams. Everybody was talking about
yeah,
Caleb Williams.
I didn't even know
Everybody,
he was drafted. Like all I heard was Caleb
everybody
Williams
was talking about Caleb Williams.
because they just got rid of Justin Fields, who's a stud for a new like they're QB recycling, which is never something you want to do. You usually want to build around one, but like they got rid of Justin Fields way too early.
Yeah, Fields,
Man.
dude. Justin Fields, man, it wasn't even that bad of a quarterback in Chicago.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't at all.
He
Fields
needed help.
wasn't bad. It doesn't help that your only weapons on offense are DJ Moore and Cole Kmet.
They had
And
Claypool too, bro.
yeah, and Claypool. That's never gonna help you out, man. There's no way in just in the world that I should be able to take the Bears on Madden to a Super Bowl, and they're struggling to get 8 wins in real life. That should never be the case.
You can't. I disagree with the QB recycling thing where you just throw out a young quarterback and just draft another one. Like,
yeah, let them fall a little bit. I feel like it also too is fan stuff too, because fans they'll be like, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta get this guy, we gotta get this guy, we need to get rid of him, we gotta get rid of them. And I feel like the teams and the owners they listen too much to their fans sometimes, because at the end of the day, yeah, fans for the most part, you want to please them and stuff. But at the end of the day, the fans aren't the one running the team. It's the coach. So if I got my faith in one quarterback and I expect him to be the change for this team, the culture, and I got a whole fan base that's against me on it, but my quarterback hasn't shown like any major signs of him being absolutely garbage, why would I get rid of him?
Yeah, I do like I know I just said I don't want this to happen, but I do like Caleb Williams in Chicago, and I do like Justin. I do
and
like
then
Justin
also too, another thing about quarterbacks is that it's always the fit. Maybe Chicago was never a place for Fields to really thrive. Maybe it was a stepping stone point. I mean, obviously, he's in Pittsburgh right now. He's doing his thing. So, at the end of the day, you see people, you take, like I said last week, take Sam Darnold, for example. Sam Darnold's bounced around from team to team. He's found a home in Minnesota. He's playing a position where he doesn't have to worry about fighting somebody else for a spot. It's cool. So
I think that's a part of why there's so many bad quarterbacks as of late, because there's just so many quarterbacks.
Exactly.
And there's like every team has at least two. There's like hella teams with 2 good quarterbacks where it's like, who do we start? And I do think like it's sad to think about the what ifs when you look back and look at people who've just been done dirty in their career based off like what team they were in. People who just never had a chance to be great, like Sam Darnold, like the what's the dude's name that was in Denver?
Bo Nix?
No, the one before Drew Lock. Like look at Geno, look at Sam, look at Baker. There's hope for these quarterbacks that didn't pan out.
Yeah. Just because you don't pan out on one team, if another team gives you a chance to hoop, go hoop. Forget about that. Take a look at Heineke. Take a look at Taylor Heineke. Take a look at, backup QB legend Brian Hoyer. Take a look at Gardner Minshew. Take a look at all these quarterbacks.
Gardner's having a good quiet year too.
Yeah. Like, take a look at all these quarterbacks. Just because it doesn't pan on one team does not mean you're not going to find another home.
Yeah, bro.
So, yeah, I definitely think that, QB fit is another thing, too. And, usually
Zach
it's
Wilson
just...
never had a chance. He never had a chance.
No,
like, they did Zach Wilson so dirty just for Aaron Rodgers to come in and do the same thing Zach Wilson was doing.
Absolutely
It wasn't
not.
Zach Wilson.
I'm not going to lie. I was one of the first when Aaron Rodgers said that he was going to go to the Jets. When that became like a thing, everybody said, "Oh, the Jets gonna be nice." Nah.
They were saying
Y'all
Jets
let
and Super Bowl in the same
y'all
sentence.
let Aaron Rodgers go to the Jets. Y'all got rid of y'all old receiving core, and y'all had him bring in Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is retired right now. Alan
Remember when
Lazard
they
is
got
still
Randall Cobb?
yes. Alan Lazard is there, but it's like I ain't really been checking on Alan Lazard since Green Bay days. Garrett Wilson's their only bright spot like that on offense. They have Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook is like old now. He's not like in his prime anymore. Defense is like it's outside of Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner. It's like so whatever. So it's like you just look
They
at
put
it
up
and it's
9 points last night. They put up 9 points against one of the worst offenses in the league, and they lost. Zach Wilson would have put up the same amount of points.
I feel like it gets to a point where you look at quarterbacks and you look at just because they're high profile names doesn't always necessarily mean that they know what they're doing when it comes to the stuff they're doing. Robert Saleh, in my opinion,
Rodgers had a perfect team in Green Bay.
look, I don't know what the deal was with Green Bay, but I don't know why in the world you would decide to leave that situation in Green Bay and go to a situation in New York with media, with stuff, obviously money. But at this point, man, bro, let's face it, your MVP days are past you. You're not gonna, you probably not gonna see the bowl again. Your best chance to win the bowl was 2021 when you played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. Y'all blew that game. You mean like, come on.
Rodgers has won a lot of NFC Championship or NFC game. That's the reason. Rodgers, when it comes to pure talent, I think Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time. But if we're talking about like obviously production, it's obviously Brady. But if we're going arm talent, I think it's Rodgers. Like Rodgers has probably the best arm I've ever seen.
No, I can't even lie. Yeah, Rodgers would just be doing that, just be slinging it and everything like that. That sidearm stuff.
Rodgers,
Yeah.
bro, Rodgers he's nasty.
Especially when he does like
too many games.
especially like when he be doing like the play action and stuff like that. I'm like, oh wow, like that's actually pretty
Rodgers,
cool.
his accuracy, his deep ball accuracy is probably some of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like
So
if you're looking up best throws of all time, it's just all Aaron Rodgers.
yeah. So like like we said with the NFL, man, only time will tell. Really, only time will tell.
Bro, we gotta talk about that Knicks trade.
Might as well, yeah. Yeah. Before we get into yeah. Speaking of Knicks, how do we feel about Karl-Anthony Towns going to the Knicks?
I was talking to my friend yesterday. I just feel like it's the most pointless trade of all time. I feel like what do you gain now? Dante DiVincenzo being in Minnesota, that's a good piece for them. Mm-hmm. Like honestly, Minnesota looks good. They just made it to the I don't remember what they called them in the semifinals or the conference finals. Yeah, I'm more focused on football. So, but and they got. Do you think they got? What team do you think got better?
On paper, it looks like the Knicks have gotten better. I mean, DiVincenzo, obviously, it's like a sad thing to lose if you're the Knicks. Obviously, the Nova Knicks thing was something that's going to happen this year. Obviously, Jalen Brunson, Bridges, DiVincenzo, that was going to be exciting. It sucks, but it's like when you look at what they also lost.
They have Bridges and OG, so they really don't need another 3-and-D wing.
When you you also think about who they lost with Hartenstein and stuff like that too, and Hartenstein's in the he's on the Thunder now. So when you think about like who they lost with Isaiah Hartenstein and everything like that though, and your only center at this point, I think being Precious Achiuwa and maybe Jericho Sims, I feel like bringing in somebody like Cat is going to help you guys out. Also too, Randall was a solid piece for the Knicks, but I feel like Randall when he was healthy, he was nice. But I feel like Randall now is going to emerge. You said what?
He's not that good. Julius Randle.
No, hold on. Let me say my thing.
Go ahead.
Randall came to New York when New York was bad and made them into a playoff team. Made them into, turned them into all-star season, stuff like that. He served his purpose for the Knicks. He helped them get back to where they need to be. To the point where they're like,
improved player too. Remember that?
Yeah. To the point where they're like, yo, we appreciate what you've done here in New York. You can just go now. Stuff like that. No crazy disrespectful thing. So now his job in Minnesota is going to be when Anthony Edwards needs me to get a bucket, I can get one. But it's his team. I'm just going to be a solid, third option, second option on the team. And that's going to work for them.
Yeah, Minnesota basically said, they basically just told Anthony Edwards, look, you are the star focus. You are the focus.
Yeah. And that's totally fine. Because Karl-Anthony Towns had his time in Minnesota. Karl-Anthony Towns has seen, playoff basketball in Minnesota. But if you're a real ball knower, you know that Karl-Anthony Towns is not getting you over that hump. It's Anthony Edwards is getting you over that hump. And yeah, that duo breaking up, it sucks. Yes, I get that. But that just goes to show how much they're buying into this. Because if you look at the projected starting five, Conley, Edwards, probably going to have you're going to probably have McDaniels, Randall, and then Gobert. That's a lot of spacing. That's some solid spacing. Because that was another thing.
They're saying, listen, because Conley's going to facilitate, but Anthony Edwards is going to have the ball.
He's going to score.
Edwards is going to be in the corner. And
McDaniels going to play defense, in the corner. Randall can be that high post spot. And Gobert can just get rebounds and dunk.
That's a great team. Great team. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The only downside about this trade is the fact that they did not notify Cat that he's going to be traded. That's the only thing that I feel like Minnesota was foul for doing. Like, Minnesota should have been like... Yeah, because let's face it, Cat gave up a lot. Like, he didn't give up a lot, but like he was like he lost a lot. You get what I'm saying? If you remember back at COVID and everything like that with his mom and everything like that, like he gave a lot to Minnesota. So in no way, shape, or form, I'm sitting up here saying.
Yeah, do you remember the season one of the first couple months where he tore his Achilles or something?
Yeah,
he came back and played that same season.
No way, shape, or form. I'm sitting up here saying by any means that Cat was trash and stuff like that. No. Well, his contributions to Minnesota is going to be like greatly missed. So but that's just business. At the end of the day, with basketball, it's just business. Feelings and stuff aside, like that's what they're gonna do. Also, too, I named the starting five for the Wolves. I totally forgot about Naz Reid as well. They'll be fine. Yeah, the T-Wolves will be fine. And then the Knicks, their starting five: Brunson, probably Josh Hart, and then you got OG, and then you got.
No, it's gonna be Mikal. Josh might be on the bench, unless they go.
No, Josh gonna probably play the two.
You think Mikal? OG's gonna play the four.
OG gonna play the four, and then they're gonna put Carl at the five.
I think every team goes small ball, to be fair, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I think obviously I really think Boston is gonna repeat.
Let's not say that.
I know. As a fan, I hate that. I hate it, but
no, because the way they were talking about that Olympics thing, and they said that Tatum fixed the hitch in his jump shot and everything like that, I'm kind of worried.
Like the little stutter he does.
Like, how he shoots and it looks like he's throwing it up and everything like that. Like, no, he fixed that.
Tatum, I hate Tatum.
I feel like every single fan hates Tatum.
We might have a Tatum 53-90 season, bro. It might be. That's
really
pretty
think so?
Bro. I think the Celtics are gonna repeat. Yeah, I think is Horford still playing? Because they need Horford. Horford is an amazing piece.
Dude, you know what's crazy about Boston? It's like if he's still playing, that's cool. But even if he's not, Boston could very much pick up somebody at the deadline, and they could fix all that. Because Brad Stevens is going to get him right.
Horford is 39, I believe.
Brad Stevens is going to get him right. So,
Boston they play too well together for them not to repeat. I think Boston takes it, but if not Boston, it's gonna be Oklahoma City.
Nah, they need one more year. They need one more year. If it's not Boston, I think it's either going to be because what team no one's really talking about?
I'm trying to think. What
Denver.
Yeah. You think
Hear me out, right? Yes, they lost KCP, but they picked up Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and that offense with Jokic, Jamal Murray, spacing the floor like that, being able to distribute and facilitate without having to worry about being a primary scorer. And you already know the Nuggets have solid depth as well. I just feel like people.
He's gonna have a good year. I think Westbrook's gonna have his best year in a long time.
I just feel like people are forgetting about Denver, and then honestly, I feel like people were forgetting about the Bucks as well. I feel like people were praising the Pacers way too much. I don't see the Pacers doing what they did last year again.
They had the best offense all time last year.
Yeah, I feel like you look at the not Phoenix. I'm not worried about Phoenix. Dallas could definitely very much well be back in the finals this year.
I don't know.
The Bucks, most definitely. No one's talking about Milwaukee like that. They should be talking about Milwaukee. Giannis was hurt last year, and he's coming back healthy. So,
I think Miami's deadline's over. I don't think Jimmy does. I think Jimmy's too old.
No, yeah, Miami's clipped. They're not. We're not worried about Miami.
Jimmy needs to go to LA or something.
Jimmy's not going to LA.
Nah, he's not.
I don't see it.
He needs to go. Like he's not winning in Miami. Like
his best year was the bubble. His best year was the bubble. Because even when they went back to the finals,
he did it again in 2022.
No, because even the year they went back to the finals, back against the Nuggets, I was like they weren't winning that series. No, they may get one, but they weren't winning that series.
Jokic needs more than one championship, though, bro.
Dude, I'm just tired of him getting an MVP. The fact that he already has 3 MVPs is beyond me. He has more MVPs than Kobe.
Could easily have 4. Nah. If MVP went to the best player every year, LeBron would probably have 10 MVPs.
Exactly. I feel like that's what I'm saying. They need to have 2. They need to have a regular season, and they need to have a postseason MVP. Or if they do an MVP, they need to do this after the postseason takes effect. If they have an MVP award, they need to do it after that.
So they can't have a postseason MVP, an MVP, and a finals MVP.
No, I'm saying that for the MVP, they need to have it as. So let's say like all 3 of the finalists are in the playoffs. You take their postseason numbers into account as well.
That's fair. Yeah, no,
I feel like.
Because most MVPs make the playoffs anyway.
Right. But it's also, too, like, I remember a couple years back when Westbrook won it, he faced off against Harden in the first round. Harden was the finalist. Harden got Westbrook and the Thunder out of there. So, it was like, I mean, I'm not sitting up here saying Westbrook didn't deserve it, but it was like, it's kind of hard to call you the MVP when you're getting bested by the guy who lost to you in the MVP conversation. The year that Giannis won.
I was going to say that Kawhi got him out of there.
No, yeah, but also too, you saw remember Harden's numbers, and Harden didn't remember the year that I think Harden lost one year.
Paul George should have won that year.
Stop.
No, listen, that was the year when Paul George was on the Thunder and he was averaging 28 points per game. He was third.
Are you talking about the year where Giannis won and Harden was? You saw Harden's average from that year?
No, I don't care. Paul George should have won.
No.
Paul George should have won that year.
I don't care.
I'm so mad. MVP. I'm so sad.
Dude, there was an MVP award that I remember when Giannis went back to back. I remember Giannis won MVP back in 2020 over Bron. When LeBron had an MVP season, I was sick because Bron should have definitely had that MVP in the bag. The year that he had on the Lakers. The year that he had on the Lakers that year was absolutely amazing. Like, Bron definitely should have gotten the MVP.
He went to check that year, though, so.
Steve Nash went back-to-back. That was ridiculous, man.
Kobe has 1 MVP, bro. Can you believe that Kobe has 1 MVP?
Nah, yeah.
Kobe Bryant has 1 MVP in his career.
I don't get it.
And LeBron only has 4. LeBron should have won MVP in 2018. He should have won MVP in 2011, and 2012, and 2011, and the year, what year Derrick Rose won MVP?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's crazy. It's crazy when you look at it.
Who's winning MVP this year, though? That's the question.
Embiid.
What'd you say? Embiid had a historic year last year, didn't he? And then he got hurt and he just missed
the fact that Embiid literally was in the top 3 of scoring last year in the league, and he didn't play for like majority of the second half of the season. That just goes to show how much of a trajectory he was on before he got hurt. People were saying to me last year, oh, Embiid, y'all didn't do nothing in the playoffs. Y'all realize the only reason we had to play in the play-in was because Embiid got hurt. and we were missing players left and right.
If Embiid could stay healthy consistently,
They say
he'd
he
probably
lost
be better than
30.
Jokic.
He said he lost 25 to 30 pounds over the summer.
I'm not falling for that, bro. They say that every year. They say that about Luka every year. They say that every year about all these Harden, all these players. They're like, oh, this player lost 25 pounds, and then
But honestly, you know what I am excited for though? Ben Simmons, he's coming back. He's gonna be healthy this year, and he was saying like, people forget about how.
Don't talk to me about Ben Simmons. He does this every year. Like, every single year. See, you're new here, Denari, so I'll explain this to you.
I'm not new. I'm not new.
You're clearly new. You're clearly new. Ben Simmons, every offseason, will look amazing. He'll look fit. He'll be in the lab. They'll be like, Ben Simmons working on his game, and he'll be training half-court shots with his eyes closed. He'll be shooting it like that on net. And then the same year, he attempts 4 threes and makes none of them. It's like it's over. Like the Nets aren't winning a single game. They're going 0-82. Ben Simmons is terrible. He's
but I want to see Ben Simmons have a solid return season, man. Like I really want him to get back to what he once was, man. Because
he
was nice.
I'm rooting for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons he has the archetype to be one of the best players of all time. If he had a 3-point shot, he's a 6'10" athletic point guard. He's saying like LeBron James and Magic Johnson put together.
Yeah.
He has the archetype to be one of the best and he's a first team all defense player guaranteed. And he's still young. I really want Ben Simmons to have the career he was supposed to have.
I do too.
And
I just want him to just
because Lonzo's
Lonzo's will be back. Yeah.
He'll be back this year. And Lonzo was one of my favorite players when he got drafted. I remember it because he got drafted to the Lakers, had horrible shooting splits. Then he got traded to NOLA, and he was shooting 40% from 3.
He was hooping in New Orleans, and then he was hooping in Chicago too.
Yeah, and then he missed like 2 straight seasons, but this year and he's also first team all defense guaranteed as well.
Yeah,
Lonzo's he's a clamp guy.
Yeah, he is a clamp guy.
He's good, man.
But only time will tell. But goodness gracious, man, we've been at this for an hour. But that's gonna do it for this episode. That's gonna do it for this episode, man. As always, look, y'all gonna catch Jamaal at the beginning of every week, man, for his little, NFL wrap-ups, whatever like that. This is not gonna be the only episode coming out this week. We got something coming out this weekend. We got an interview. We got probably 2 interviews this week. We'll see. Maybe. But like Jamaal said in the last episode, if you haven't already, go check out the podcast, man. Listen to it, man. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about it, man. We got a lot of stuff on the way, man. A lot of stuff. Don't want to say too much, but we got a lot of stuff on the way. So make sure y'all continue to tap in with the podcast. Continue to show love, support it. Tell your friends, mamas, stuff like that, man. But as always, man, we appreciate y'all for listening. Jamaal, you got any final words you want to say, man? Anything you want to say before we close it out? Of our generation. Mike Vick's on our generation, right? Okay. I was about to say Cam Newton. I'm tripping. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. This is my hot take. But I feel like Mike Vick and Colin Kaepernick and Cam Newton was like the blueprint for Lamar, for real, for real. Because if you remember you said what? Yeah. Gosh, man, just thinking about Kaepernick right now, that hurts me, man. He was nice. He was nice when he was healthy. He was nice. RG3 hurts me too. But yeah, and then my final words, man. Look, I was about to say something, but I forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, just go check out the podcast, man. Yeah, go check out the podcast. Go Saints, man. We'll be back on the win column soon. Trust the process. Thank y'all for tuning in. Episodes presented by Solitary Faith Clothing. Go check out the brand. Love, appreciate y'all. Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in. Au revoir.